Yeah, we back. Now today's video is going to be a follow-up video to one I dropped about a month ago entitled Niger cuts off the United States military. Now I see some headlines floating around. As you can see, the United States troops in Niger say they are stranded and cannot get mail or medicine. A U.S. military whistleblower accuses American leaders of suppressing the Niger relationship downfall. Defying the Niger exit order leaves American troops vulnerable, says a United States Air Force whistleblower. Now, let's jump straight into the article. A senior U.S. Air Force leader deployed in Niger is raising an alarm over the Biden administration's reluctance to heed an eviction notice from the military government that last year overthrew the West African nation's democratically elected government. The U.S. airmen, in a private whistleblower complaint to Congress obtained by the Washington Post, accused top officials at the U.S. Embassy in Niger's capital of having intentionally suppressed intelligence as they seek to maintain the facade of a great country-to-country relationship. The embassy's actions, the whistleblower wrote, has potential implications for U.S. relations with other African nations and the safety of their own personnel in the region. Now, like I said, the U.S. is scrambling right now. The United States is scrambling right now in terms of trying to maintain their drone base, trying to maintain their military operations in West Africa. They've invested hundreds of millions of dollars in establishing their military footprint in West Africa. Of course, the company lines they tell to us is, we are just here to keep the African safe. We want to keep the black man safe. We want to keep the black woman safe. We want to keep the black babies safe. That's why we are here, to keep the black man safe. But intelligent black men, we ain't buying that. We ain't buying that. Since when you gave a fuck about the black man, bruh? Since when you gave a fuck? You know what I mean? So listen, even though weeks ago, the authorities in Niger told them, listen, it's time to go. They refused to go. They refused to leave. You know, they still trying to finagle away, still trying to finesse a way to stay in the region, you know? And I understand it. Like what the lady said, Celeste Wallander, the high-ranking member of the Department of Defense, she said, the American partnerships with Africa is essential to maintain our technological, geopolitical, and economic edge and power our future. So I understand why you refuse to leave. If I was you, I wouldn't want to leave either. But it's not up to you, big dog. You know, it's the black man's house. When the black man gets up one morning and tells you it's time to go, you got to pack your luggage and it's time to go. I don't give a fuck if the drone base costs $100 million. You are a guest in the black man's house, and the black man has told you definitively it's time to go. Now let's continue. The State Department and Defense Department rejected the claims of negligence, saying the United States is making a final push to maintain a U.S. military presence in Niger, though they acknowledge that talks are difficult and may fail to produce an agreement. Listen, that final sentence, that says a lot. When they say that negotiations are currently difficult and may fail to produce an agreement, that means that the authorities in Niger either don't give a fuck what they gotta say, or they're not even scared of any threats or current, retribution they could take against them. Because usually they bring out all the stops. They say, okay, we're gonna revoke your visas, we're going to sanction you, we're going to seize your assets. But it's difficult to do that when it's easy for them to do that with these so-called democratically elected leaders, because these so-called democratically elected leaders, they have property in the West, they got businesses in the West, they got money, family in the West, they have interest in the West, so they could always, leverage things against them, saying we're gonna revoke your visa, we're gonna, your kid goes to Harvard, we're gonna kick your kid out of Harvard, we're not gonna let your wife come to the United States, we're gonna threaten you with certain, retribution if you don't do what we say, if you don't dance to the beat of our drum. But if you're a leader and you don't have any interest in the West, you don't have any assets in the West, you don't have any bank accounts in the West, you don't got any property in the West, your wife don't want to go shopping in the West, what can you really threaten me with? What can you really threaten me with? I could just say, nigga, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't care what you gotta say, bro. I don't give a fuck what you say. Pack up the drone base, pack up all your military personnel, send them back to Washington, send them back to Virginia, send them back to wherever the fuck they came from. And if you ask me, with the United States saying that they don't even know if an agreement can be reached, that goes to show that they've threw out all the stops and they don't even know what they can do at this point. They don't want to give up, but they don't know what they can do because they are in a position of begging at this point. When you take a look up on the screen. This is the United States' current predicament. They are currently on their knees. They are currently on their knees begging the black man to stay in his house. Please, black man, please, Please, bro, please. I don't want to. I know it's your house, bro. I know it's your house, bro. But you gotta understand the drone base. It cost $100 million for us to build it. We didn't expect to leave so soon. We wanted to be here forever. We didn't know yet, bro. Please, we don't want to leave, bro. Bro, our future is at stake, man. Yo, bro, what do you want, bro? You want money? You want $100 million? You want money? What do you want, bro? You want a visa? What do you want? Does your kid wants to go to Harvard? What do you want, bro? What do you want a mansion? You want a mansion in Los Angeles? What do you want? We'll give you whatever you want. Just please let us stay. Please let us stay. We have to stay. We only have 1,000 soldiers here. It's not even that much. Please, just let them stay. Please. That is the current predicament that Joe Biden is in, and the black man is telling him, listen, get up off your knees, man. Stop begging. Listen, get the fuck out, nigga. Let's continue. There is a very narrow path here to finding an accommodation that addresses their interests and concerns and our interests and concerns, says a senior State Department official who, like some others, spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the Biden administration's diplomatic efforts. It may not work, but the fat lady has not sung yet. So they said they're trying to find a middle ground between the interests of the United States and the interests of the black men in Niger. That goes to show you that we have opposing interests. If we cannot come to an agreement, that means that the black man's interest and the white man's interest is not lining up. And to me, that sounds about right. Our interests are not aligned. We do not have the same interests. We do not have the vision for the same future. Okay, so if that's what you're hanging your hat on, finding an accommodation for your shared interests, you're never gonna find an agreement because the black man does not have the same interests as the white man. In order for the Western man to continue to enjoy prosperity, in order to continue to enjoy, wealth and success and power, the black man must continue to be in a state of poverty and destruction and annihilation. Their prosperity has always been based upon our destruction. Their prosperity was built upon our destruction. Therefore, their prosperity must be maintained upon our destruction. And for that reason alone, we will always be in a state of hostility. Now let's continue. Reached by phone, the military whistleblower declined to comment, citing a fear of professional reprisal and safety concerns. The Post verified the individual's name, his rank, and his assignment, but generally does not identify whistleblowers who make protected communications to Congress. Senior U.S. officials said they sympathize with concerns posed by personnel who have been unable to carry out their duties since last summer's coup, but they rejected the whistleblower's claim that embassy leaders had suppressed intelligence or put U.S. troops at risk. In a statement read on live television in mid-March, the military spokesman of Niger, Amadou Abdrahman, accused the American delegation of condescension and emphasized Niger's right to choose its own partners. The military government of Niger has not publicly changed its position since then. Now, the one thing I took the most offense to was the fact that the United States actually sent a black man, General Langley, to negotiate on behalf of the United States State Department. I don't like that. I don't like when black men have to, beef amongst each other because of some white man outside, causing trouble. The white man causing trouble, so now black men got to beef amongst each other. I don't like that image. I don't like the image of General Langley, beefing with the military government in Niger, and meanwhile we got some white men far away in Washington trying to dictate the terms of the situation. I don't like that. I don't like that image at all. But, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I was talking to a young lady earlier today. General Langley might be a nice guy. General Langley might be a great guy. We could probably go to the bar, have drinks, have a great conversation. But, unfortunately, it's he's collateral damage, because he's negotiating on behalf of the State Department. So we have to look at him as an outsider, as a foreigner. We can't look at him as our brother. Unfortunately, I hate that. I hate that, but it is what it is. We have to look at him as an adversary in this situation. We can't look at him as a brother because he's operating on the behalf of a third party. Now let's continue. This past weekend, hundreds of protesters gathered in Niamey in what was a largely peaceful demonstration, chanting and waving signs as they called on the American troops to leave. Now this is where it gets tricky. When you're always championing democracy and democratically elected leaders and the will of the people, and we have to support the citizens. That is typically what the United States and many Western nations say. We have to support the will of the people. We have to support the citizens. Well, when the citizens rise up against you, now what? Now what do? Now you're gonna be looking stupid now. You're gonna go against the people? Ha! Now you're gonna go against the people. Yeah, that's the next step. Now we got to go against the people, because that's typically what they say, right? Because if a leader stands up and says, fuck you, then they say, listen, we have to support the people. We got to support democracy. Now, when the people say, fuck you, then they say, you know what? Forget the people. We just going in guns blazing. Now they going to say, fuck the people. That's what happens. Once the people say we don't fuck with you, then they say, you know what, forget the people. Who cares about the people? That's the next step. The next step, they're gonna say forget the people. Because they never cared about the people. But anyways, man, the United States is sweating right now. The United States is sweating. If they lose that drone base, that's gonna be one of the biggest diplomatic losses they took in Africa in decades, bro. I'm telling you, that's gonna be a major loss. But we can't feel sympathy for them, because if the shoe was on the other foot, and let's say, I don't know, let's say, you know, Senegal had a military base somewhere in, you know, Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? Let's say Senegal had a military base in Nebraska, and the Biden administration say, hey, Senegal, it's time to pack up the military base. It's time to get the fuck out. And then the Senegalese government was like, we ain't trying to go nowhere, boss. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to stay right here forever. Listen, they're gonna take that as an act of war. They're gonna take that as an aggressive statement. What? We told you leave, you ain't leaving? Nigga, what? Listen, that's gonna be seen as an act of aggression. You know what I mean? If the shoe is on the other foot, the shoe would never be on the other foot, because they would never allow an African nation to penetrate their soil and have military bases all over the United States. That would never happen in the first place. So, you know, in the spirit of reciprocity, we shouldn't feel any sympathy for them. Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, the drone base costs $100 million. Boo-hoo. Oh my God, our counterterrorism efforts. Boo-hoo. Nigga, shut the fuck up, nigga. It's my house. It's the black man's house. The black man told you to leave, bitch. So it's time to leave, pussy. Anyways, man, it's your boy Neferkari. That's a lean back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Cash out up on the screen, and I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling attention. Enemy watching me blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands, cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and get smacking their faces.